Welcome back, folks. Dow right now is up 144. You get the Nasdaq up 4. S&Ps are up 6. That Nasdaq's only up 4 points when you get the Dow up at 143.
Yeah, it's interesting. They fluctuate back and forth. Which one's the leader, right?
I'm telling you, man. Pretty wild. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Darrell Martin at Apex Investing Institute. See what's happening in those currency markets, those commodity markets. Darrell Martin, what's going on?
How you doing today?
Good, man. Yourself?
Doing fantastic.
Good, good. So
had some good moves yesterday, right? With the big old moves on the Dow and everything else, several hundred points.
Big number, man. Those financials went topside, and they went topside, and they took everything up with them. There's no doubt. I mean, it was,
They led the market.
Yeah, and we have J.P. Morgan. That's coming out. I think it's Friday, right? Friday.
Yes. J.P. Morgan, Citigroup, Citibank, I believe, is Friday.
It kicks it off, so that's the 13th.
Yeah, early, 6:45 in the morning. You're gonna get J.P. Morgan on Friday.
You know,
it was higher today, pulling back a bit, but yeah, quite a move across the board. And how about gold got in action and even today in both directions. Oil, $1 one way or the other is standard every day. It seems like now.
And if you're over in the NADEX platform, folks, okay, if you haven't test driven it yet, just come over to our website and do it, because you're gonna be there's a lot of decent trades out here. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out if they're decent trades by the end of the day. Specifically because what you had inside that gold market, okay, they slammed gold last night, and the dollar index wasn't up dramatically. So it's like, okay, man, and
a little bit of an imbalance on that, yeah.
We all know they have these different strikes, and you're right next to a 1250, and gold was trading at 1248. And bottom line is that you were basically putting up $17 for a couple hundred.
You checking out some binaries possibly this morning?
Yeah, nice. I did the spreads. I probably should have done the binaries again, but I did the spreads.
Yeah, no, it's a good move. $6 off the bottom, $6.50 off the bottom already. Yeah.
So, yesterday, Darrell, I know you like trading those currencies. They had that pound moving around quite a bit. When you had good old Theresa May and her ministers going at it.
Apart,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. They're all like falling apart, trying to figure out what they're going to do and going back and forth on this whole Brexit thing. And
this morning was interesting that, even some of the news this morning, they were saying that, hey, listen, man, the opposition was saying, well, we need another vote. And wouldn't it be crazy that if it's 2 or 3 years later and all of a sudden there's going to be another vote?
Yeah. I don't think they have the votes, and that's all. I'm just listening to talking heads too, but supposedly, it's like there's a lot of turmoil, but they supposedly don't have the votes to really put in a vote of no confidence or whatever it is, or to put it. So it's kind of like, what are you going to do,
Yeah. So what are you looking at for the next couple of days, Darrell?
Obviously, today we had today we had the pound with the GDP. Tomorrow we have Draghi speaking in the morning, so that ought to, cause a little bit of volatility.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
3 a.m., so during the London session, and then, of course, a little bit later in the morning tomorrow, looking over at the dollar CAD. So they have their FOMC, their rate statement is coming out. So it'll be interesting to see if they make any kind of changes. And, they have a press conference. First they do the policy report, then they release a statement, then they do a press conference, and then, their Governor Carney comes on and speaks of the Bank of England.
Okay.
So for the pound, so that'll cause even more volatility. But so there's just a lot coming out with the pound and the CAD here in the next couple days. You got a couple FOMC speakers tomorrow, and so if they say anything that gives any hints of where they're feeling about inflation, raising rates,
the tariffs, right? Because no one knows yet what's going to happen, as to the aspect of what the hit is going to be on the tariffs, right? That's kind of the reality,
Got the whole trade war tariff thing going on. I know it's impacting a lot of companies already. One of the ladies that works for me at my ranch, she does a lot of accounting stuff for a steel company.
Yeah.
And she said that they're having a hard time finding steel, period, right now, because all the tariffs and everything else, and everybody's holding on to it, waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm expecting the rates to go up. They're having to buy at least 6 to 12 months out, and they're having a hard time finding it at all.
Right. Well, finding it at the price they want. You can get it, but you're going to pay up beyond belief. Right. And that's a problem because, as Darrell just said, and I wasn't even thinking about that, but could you imagine if you were trying to program for out 8 months of the year, and then if you buy at higher price and things change between that, you're already in. You're going to have to basically eat that, you know, and what I'm talking about specifically, folks, is that you buy the steel, you're making a product, you're manufacturing it, then you're sending it out.
Sure.
And, you know, that's a high risk probability, man.
Yeah. We see it in oil, right?
Yeah,
Some people gold, same deal.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Her literal job is to find the lowest price for, you know, the company which manufactures, you know, steel products.
Sure.
And they're having to go like directly to the mills, and like they're having to go around stuff and do like completely different things than they've done before. And they say a lot of them are just holding on to it, you know, and or they're selling it at just insane prices that they're like, we can't even make it for this. And so they're obviously very worried about how they're going to be able to, you know, pull off a profit, you know, because people just don't want to pay that, you know, price that's built in to the steel.
Sure.
And then, of course, that's going to impact, you know, you look at, you know, what's going to happen with, you know, GM and, you know, other companies that have, you know, manufacture cars and stuff, and like most of their business is actually in China.
Yeah, well, and listen, commercial buildings in the United States, you know, will go up dramatically. I'm sure they probably already have. Because what happens with a commercial building, even if it's a small one, folks, okay, bottom line, you use steel. You know, you're not using, you'll use block coming up, but across the floors, you're using steel. So that just there adds a lot of juice into the marketplace.
And you saw, just speaking of the China deal, you saw Tesla announcing today they're going to build a factory in China. So there's, you know, exactly where they're, you know, you just start building them wherever you want to ship them as opposed to shipping them.
Right.
And that eliminates that deal.
Yeah. And I'm even noticing that, you know, it's impacting aluminum. Even copper is actually starting to do some weird, like, actually it's pretty nice to trade right now. Over the last few months, in the middle of all this trade war stuff, it's been, you know, pretty volatile.
It has.
And then, like, right now, it's sort of funny because on aluminum, I'm actually putting up arena lights, you know, so my daughter can ride at night because it's so hot in Texas right now.
Okay. So you get the price. That's a personal deal with the price right away.
I have to buy 1,500 feet of aluminum.
Okay. I think he just went.
He's dropping a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Hey, you know, the bottom line is that there's a lot of moving parts out here.
Yeah, and so that's cool that he was talking about, as in we'll get some, you know, Fed statements, not from our Fed, but just across in terms of Carney and going on with the pound and going on with the Canadian dollar, and that they'll be talking about that. You'll start hearing, you know, the bank, federal bank chairman, chairwoman talking about those tariffs, and it'll be interesting to see how they affect each country individually as they all have their own kind of interest, whether they're what they export, import, right? I mean, how
and you know what we've heard thus far is that they're small numbers compared to the economies, but guess what? There's small numbers that are going to contract no matter where, you know, the prices are going up 25 to 40%, not going up, but on top of the wholesale price. Well, you're going to sell less. I mean,
I would agree.
You know, that's what it comes down to.
And just to remind, you can go right under breaking news, and then, you know, Darrell, we've had John Skelton on before. He's got a webinar. They always have webinars, news. You can get to both, but 2 days from right now, doing a webinar. We're talking about the binaries. So John of Apex Investing with Darrell. So check out that webinar, completely free over there.
Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I are coming right back.